Hello, welcome to part 2 of the Hub setup video. In part 1 I showed you how to just log in and set up a Hub, invite yourself, theoretically invite other people, pre-approved contacts, and do the basics. We created a Hub called Hospify Demo. There's me, I set it up. Here's our camel, which is our logo and will appear in all the groups and so on that we set up on the Hub. And we showed you how to set up a group, and there we go, my demo group, and how to put somebody in it over here by adding a member. So it was all pretty straightforward. In this second video, we're going to show you how to look at tags and how to send a channel message. So groups are great for up to 16 people, and they can help with audit, especially if you use them in conjunction with our web app. But if you want to talk to more people than that, if you want to sort of communicate with hundreds or even thousands of people, you need a more powerful tool. You don't want to be creating huge groups. They become really unwieldy for the users and a liability from data protection point of view. So in order to do that, we have a function in the hub that we call broadcast messaging. You can broadcast to one person, you can broadcast to 10,000 people. You do this through your channel, and if you sit on there, you can see there's basically one function in a channel, and it's send broadcast. In order to send a broadcast, though, we have to have someone to send it to, and we send it to an audience. Every hub has a default audience, has every contact in the hub in it automatically, and this hub only has one contact in, which is me. So but if you could, this could be 50 or 100 or 10,000 people here. We want more contact. We don't want to just send messages to everybody, though. We want to make our own audiences. So how do we do that? Well, we can create a new audience, and we could give it a name, demo audience. In order to make an audience, what we do is we add together tags, and we and groups. You can put in a tag, and we can add a tag, and we can put in a group. So before we can do any of this, we need to create some tags. So what are tags? Tags are just standard tags that you find in many software platforms. You can create a tag, and you can label. It's basically a label. You label your contacts. So for example, let's create the tag nurse, and I might want to tag all the nurses in my organization. I can have some, put it in a category. I have to put every tag category. Job category. Nurse is a job category, really. I suppose it could be job title. Let's go to job title. I can actually create more categories. These are just some categories that we put in as a suggestion, but I can create that, and I can just save that. Bang, and then I've got a tag. I've got a tag called nurse. It's very like groups. I can then label people by adding the tag to them. Now these, unlike groups which appear on the phones of the people that you put them in, so if I set up a group and put somebody in it, that group will appear on their phone and they can talk to other people in that group. Tags are not like that. Nobody sees tags except the hub administrator. They're completely private to the hub, and they're just a way for the administrator or administrators of the hub to label and organize their employees or their members of their hub. So we've created this tag nurse, and we can just say it here, and I just start typing a name, and there we go. I've added Jim, and if I go back, I can see that there's now one person with a tag nurse. I can see who that is by clicking here. I can see that it's Jim, but I can also go back up to here, my context list, and I can see that, oh, here's Jim Flint, and he's got one tag, and that tag is nurse, and there we go, and he's also in a group, demo group. Right, people can have as many tags as you want. It's a very, very good way to categorize people, so let's create another tag, and make another tag, and let's say make this a location. So he is on site in Hackney, where he lives. So let's say his location, site location, is in Hackney. There we go, and we go, we've created the tag, and now we need to assign it. And so we've only got one contact. Doesn't give us a lot of choice to assign it to, but there we go, Jim, and back. And so now we've got Hackney and nurse. We've got a site location tag and a job title tag. Now I go back to people, look at my contacts. There's Jim, and he's now got two tags. He's got the tag of Hackney and nurse, and he's also in my demo group. So now I can go over here to audiences, and I can create a new audience because I've got some tags. I can go, let's call this audience nurses, and what we're going to do is we're going to make this audience out of everybody with the tag nurse. Right, now I can add more. I could make everyone that had the tag nurse and had the tag Hackney or what have it be, and I could exclude everyone who had everyone who was in the demo group, who was in the group, my demo group, if I wanted. That would be pretty pointless right now because obviously I'd be adding somebody in here and excluding them there, and there'd be nobody in my audience. So let's just get rid of that and keep it simple. But that's how you do it. It's a Boolean logic. You add together and subtract the groups of people that you want in your audience. So you might want all the nurses on a particular site, for example, and send a message to them. So here we're just going to have all the nurses. So bang, okay. Anyone who's got the tag nurse is now in that audience. I can remove that audience, delete it, change it, whatever I want. But right now it's going to sit there. To send a message to that audience, I go to channel and I send a broadcast. Now, here we go. I'm going to send a broadcast. Who am I sending it to? Well, I can send it to all contacts. Well, there's only one contact. And I can send it to the nurses. So let's send it to the nurses next. Now here you can see on the left here we've got fields that you can enter Jim's test message, and I can say messaging calling all nurses, and as I type it out it's appearing over here giving an idea of what the message looked like when it arrives. So this is just a viewer on the right and here and there. So okay, here's my message, and so now I'm sending a message, but I can also ask for a response. It's one of the really powerful and unique things about Hospify. Not only can we send broadcast messages, but we can get data back from them. So would I like to set up a response to your message? Yes, I would. Okay, I'm going to have customer responses. Hello, Jim. So response 1, and response 2 is I'm not a nurse, and I can have up to 3 of these. I won't put a third in, but at the moment the hub allows you to have 3. Would expand this over time. Now let's get rid of that one there. You can see as I've been typing these things, there's something down the bottom here that says tags to be auto created. And so what the hub also does is it sets up tags automatically to help track data around messages. The first 2 tags are created with every message here. It's a response 1. It's the date and time of the message when it was created. Message delivered. So this is a bit like the 2 ticks that you have against any message in the app. The first tick is whether the message has been delivered, and the second tick is whether it's been opened and read. We do the same on the hub on these broadcast messages. We have a tag for delivered and a tag for read, and then we also have a tag for every response. So we've got a tag for the people who respond hello Jim, and a tag for the people who say I'm not a nurse. And you can see here what it's going to look like when it turns up in the phone, and the button radios and the button to submit them. Okay, so next, well, the other fantastic thing about the hub is that the ability to send attachments. So not only can I send a text message and ask for a multiple choice answer, but I can also attach something. Now this could be an image, it could be a PDF. Broadcast messaging is fantastic for sending out new guidelines, antibiotic guidelines or something, and getting a response that people have read it so that you can use that for compliance. Or you could just send out a flyer that you might have had to print out in the past and mail out one. Now you can do a mail shot via the hub. Have I got anything on my desktop here? Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just get our trusty camel and we're going to send a picture of our camel. So I've just dragged our camel in there, and it's going to send out a picture of the camel with this message to all of the nurses. And there we go, dragged it, and I can send JPEGs, PNGs or PDFs, and next. Right, there we go, that's it, I'm done. I've just written a message to all the nurses in my organisation and sent them a picture of a camel, and I'm going to send that now. Bang, send. Now, you can't see this, but off screen, let's see how it worked. Look, it's worked. Bingo. So I can now close that, and there we go. Now I'm back on my channel. My channel looks a friendlier place now. I've got a message. I've got a message that I've sent. It was Jim's test message. It said calling all nurses. It was sent on the 26th of March at 1:15 in the morning, because that's what I'm doing this. And the audience was nurses, and how many recipients? Well, there was only one, poor lonely Jim, the only nurse in the hub. And if I look there, I can have another look at what I sent and review it. And there it goes. Now, remember, this is all about tags. Let's go back to tags. Up here we had my tags, the tags that I created. I created the tag nurse, and I created the site tag Hackney. But I've also got these other tags now. This message response area is all the tags that are automatically created when I send channel messages. Previously this was empty, we didn't even look at it, but now it's populated. It's populated with those tags that were created: message delivered, message read, hello Jim, and I'm not a nurse. So around like now that were created when I sent that message. Now as you can see, these are all 0, but I'm going to look at my phone and see if I've got that message. And I'll just log in here in the background off screen. Just take a minute, I hope, and then we'll see when I pick up the message if it changes any of these tags. While I'm just waiting to log in, I'm just going to talk about this thing up here. Let's just go back here. Organizing tags in a large hub can be very laborious. So what you can do is set up all your tags, create them, create a whole list of tags. You might have 10, 15, 20, you might have 50 or 60 tags. Upload all your people, get them all invited in contacts, and wait till they've started to put the code into the hub and into the app, and joined your hub. And when you've done that, you can download another CSV spreadsheet. This spreadsheet will have all your people on the left-hand margin, and all the tags that you've created in your hub and have been automatically created to across the top. And you can just put an X in all the cross sections and to say, oh, this Dr. Joe Blogs or Nurse Jim Flint should have these category nurse, and put an X there, and then upload the CSV when you've saved it, and it will just pre-populate all the tags and all the people for you. And you can do that instead of an office job that can be done once a month or so, so on and so forth, in order to keep your tags relevant and fresh. So have we got anything going? Well, I'm sorry to say that my message hasn't turned up yet. The broadcast messages take a little bit longer than text messages. They can take up to sort of 15 minutes or half an hour. So it hasn't come through. When it has come through, what will happen is we will see these start to populate, and we will be able to see that how many people have had this message delivered, and how many people have read it, and if people hit the submit button, how many answer for each response. Going forward, this dashboard is going to be expanded out to show some little graphs around what proportion of people responded. So you can see, oh, that message I sent out with the antibiotic guidelines, 70 people have responded, and 30% said yes, they understood, and 20% said they needed some more information. And then you can go back and you then create new audiences, and you can use the tags that you had before. So say, for example, I wanted to do a nursing follow-up. So I'd sent out some antibiotic guidelines, and I could do an antibiotic follow-up, and I could say, well, I want to create this audience. It's got all the tag nurses, but you know what, we're going to exclude from this follow-up all the people who said the response, "Hello Jim," and that could be your response. I understood the guidelines. So I could send a follow-up message to my 500 nurses saying, well, hello everyone, thank you for those who responded, there are a bunch of you who didn't respond, and I'm just going to send this message to the people who didn't respond, and say, can you just make sure you read these guidelines and confirm that you've read them. And it's very, very handy, and it is much, much more efficient and easier to do than like a big email shot. And of course, you're tracking it, so you can force people to respond. And you wouldn't force them, of course. You're going to encourage people to respond, and then you can track the responses. Going forward, we're going to make this tool a lot more powerful. Do maybe even allow you to semi-automate updates. Put in a paging option, so you can actually sort of, rather than broadcasting to multiple people, you could just page a single person really quickly with a message from here, and make it a bit more flexible, a bit more powerful. We're also planning to improve this tags interface so that it's a lot more flexibility, and you can sort of batch add tags, and you can start searching through tags so that they can really support thousands and thousands of tags and really help you kind of handle a really large community of people. And that's really it. The idea of the hub is it's supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be enabled you to set up and onboard a community really quickly, put them in groups, audit those groups using the web app. If you remember from the previous demo that you assigned here, by assigning web app, you can see that Jim has already had that. Actually, maybe let's remove it from Jim's accounts. Just put him back on his mobile only account now. There we go. That's as easy as doing that. You can put people in groups. You can add tags to them, create tags and assign them. You can then use big audiences of people that you want to communicate with, and you can use the channel to send out your broadcast messages, and those broadcast messages get tagged, they get tracked back in these tags, and you can see who's answered various questions and who's actually read or received messages that you've sent. As I mentioned before, there's a couple of resources here. We've got links to the website where all our intro materials and compliance packs live, and data processing agreements, including one that you can just sign for the free app and the free version of the hub, and even if you're not paying. And then we've got our help center where there's a lot of knowledge resources. We're adding this all the time, and you may be watching this video here. Just to finish off quickly, of course, you can also manage your account in the hub, and clicking on the camel down here, or your logo, gets you your account settings. It's pretty straightforward. You can edit your profile. Here's the profile I set up. Maybe put in your phone number. You can change your password. This is, again, remember, this is a distinct account from your mobile app account. Your mobile app account has nothing to do with your hub account. Your hub account is a purely administrative account for setting up the community. But if you forgot your password, of course, you can change it in here. You can also manage your organization, so you can change the name of the hub, and you can change your picture. Right now it's this picture, but I might not like my camel and decide that I want something that's a bit more professional, so I can replace the logo. And this is the logo that people see when you send them a message on their phone from the hub, or when you put them in a group that appears on the phone. And I can manage administrators. On the free app, you can see this add button. On the free hub, sorry, the add button is disabled. I can only add one. I can only have one administrator on this free hub. It's just 10 people, 10 mobile users, one web app user, and one admin user. But if I go up here and I decide I want more, I can look at the plans here, and I can look at the hub bundles, and I can see that it's very reasonably priced to buy a larger hub. For £150 a year, that's one bundle. I can add 50 mobile contacts, 5 web app contacts, and I can have another admin user, and I can just request an invoice, and then that will come through to us, and we'll check that you've got all the information you need, we'll send you an invoice and set you up for a year. And you can have one bundle, or you just buy the bundles you need. 2 bundles will be £300 a year, give you 100 mobile contacts and some more websites and some more admins. And then obviously you can scale right up here until we've got like 20 bundles, and might be for a a small hospital or a clinic, maybe who's using a lot of patients, but you want all your clinicians to have the web app and to keep in touch with patients, and that's going to just be about £3,000 a year. And as you can see, effectively it works out at £3 for each mobile contact and £30 for the web app. Web app is more expensive because we store all the data on Compliant Cloud. It's much more expensive for us to do that. And then 40 admin users here, which is probably more than you need actually. That might be a bit unwieldy, but we can trim that down for you. And then if you're going above this, well, we do offer discounts at scale, and we do that on a case-by-case basis. So you can click on this, and we'll get a little email from you saying that you'd like to talk to us. So that's that. I'm going to go back to the free trial, and if I've got admins to add, of course, if I'm on a paid trial, I can add more admins, and that means more people get. Again, this is not the mobile account. This is an admin account. More people can join and then administrate this. So you could put, a team of hospital administrators on this, and 7 or 8 people can all have access to this hub and log into it any time and do things like manage the groups. And you can give them all a web app, then they can put themselves in the groups for audit, and they can send these channel messages out, and so on and so forth. And that's it. Hospify Hub, very simple, very powerful. It can be fitted to all kinds of use cases, from running a small clinic to a large hospital. It can be used for patient outreach, used for a patient group, used for a specialty. It can be used to organise a department. It's really up to you. As an end user on the free app, you can be in multiple hubs. You can be in 1, 2, 3, 10 hubs. It doesn't really matter. What the nice thing about the hub structure is that the branding of the hub all sits in the phone of the user. They see very easily, oh, this message is from this hub, this message is from that hub, this group is from this hub. So it's a surgeon who moves between different hospitals might be in 3 or 4 hospital hubs and in a specialty hub. A nurse might be in a hospital hub and the union hub. A locum might be in the hubs of all the people, all the institutions they move around between in a week or a fortnight. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and I hope that was clear. There's lots more information on the website, and of course, if you've got any questions, just email support@hospify.com and we'll try and help you out.